Okay guys, quick lesson here tonight, today, whatever, on triangulation. Now, the triangle is an unbelievably important shape for building stuff. Okay. Now I know so is the rectangular, the square, and if I sketch here a rectangle, so if you build something there with, let's say, 4 straight pieces there, and you build it into a rectangle, but then somebody comes along and let's say they push this side in, you push that side in. There's nothing stopping that from all leaning over to the side and going out of shape. Now I think that's called a parallelogram rhombus, but so that's not a good way of building a structure. It's not strong. Okay, so that's weak. Okay, now that's a quadrilateral, which is a 4-sided figure rectangle, but it's weak. Now, if we had a structure like that and we want to make it strong, what you need to do is put a diagonal or a cross member into it, making it into triangles. Now, triangulation, I'd say triangles are very strong. Now this cannot be moved. So if somebody was to be pushing or leaning now against that, okay, so if you were pushing against that there from that side, you can't move that structure. So triangles are very strong, and that is why they are used in, I'll say, making stuff and I'll say construction. Okay, so making stuff for construction. Now, where are they used? Now, one of the most important places, now it's called triangulation. So where is triangulation used? Now the answer is, in loads of places, but a few examples anyway. Now one is what's called roof trusses. So if you were ever up in the attic of a house, or inside, if you watch a steel shed or warehouses being built, it doesn't matter whether they're timber or whether they're steel. I'm going to call that roof trusses. Now, roof trusses are very strong and use triangles. because you can see here the whole thing is a big triangle, but then you've got smaller triangles there as well, so that makes it really, really strong. Another one there that you can, we'll sketch it in here. Let's build ourselves, just say that this is a concrete wall. Here's the other end of a concrete wall. And what I want to put over this now is a bridge. So just make it maybe 2 lines high. Now when I sketch this, I just want to make it look kind of even. So I'm going to get the middle roughly, and I'm going to get half the left hand side and half the right hand side, and I'm going to make a triangle here, a triangle there, and then another triangle here, and another triangle there. So we'll just give these then a thickness. Okay, so bridges use triangulation. Now, I'll do a few smaller ones here now. Now, one that's huge is if I sketch a wall here. So this is meant to be a concrete wall. So I'll just put in a couple of blocks here on it. And if you wanted to, you could colour that in. But shelving. Okay, so what I'm going to put here now is a shelf bracket. Now often these have a design. But they don't have to have. But often they have a design. So it kind of hides the fact that this is really a triangle, because even though it's not straight, but I could have drawn it straight as well. And so here's a shelf bracket. So that's an example of triangulation. I probably should have just drawn it straight for what we're talking about. Now another one, and I'm going to draw another wall over here. Couple of blocks. And something slightly different here then. I'm going to put a sign. And I'm going to put okay, so that's a sign for, okay, let's say it's JD's chips. Okay, but you'd see the triangle there is what holds the weight there, because triangles are strong. That's what supports the weight of the sign hanging down. Now, another place there, I'm not going to make this drawing too complicated now, but I'd like to draw just the top maybe of a crane. So let's say you've got something like, we're not going to make this, as I said now, too complicated, but if you look at a crane, has loads of triangles in it. And coming over this way, we've got a big heavy counterweight on this end. So I'm going to make that look heavy because that's our counterweight. And I'm just going to do zigzag triangles over here. And we'll just put a rope and a weight hanging off it here. But so that's a counterweight. So that's usually a big huge lump of concrete with steel in it that's bolted on. Okay, so cranes. And the last one that I will put in here is one that you wouldn't think about, but one that's really important. Okay, and that is a bicycle. Now to draw this, what I want you to do there is, I want you to just draw a sloping line like this. A sloping line like that, and we can put a saddle on this. Okay, so there's our sloping line like that, and we want to go horizontal here and then back and sloping up here like that. So that's a triangle for that. Now what I want to do then is kind of go pretty horizontal here and another triangle there. Now a bike is basically based on triangulation, because what we want to put on here now this is pretty freehand, but if we were to put in our wheel, might be going in here, and spokes and all that, like, which I don't want to make this too complicated now, but there's our wheel of the bike there. And just coming down here then, I'm going to put, but that's the triangulation part that I wanted to talk about, because basically there then you've got a kind of a support shaft here, and here you would have your handlebars. I'll just draw something like this. Now we won't get too caught up in this, and you can just draw a bar down here then, and another wheel here. Throw in some spokes, but I'm not concerned about the drawing of the bike. It's the triangles I wanted to focus on. And obviously then you're going to have here your chain, your pedals, there's our chain. But the main thing here, these two triangles, okay, so that triangle there and this triangle here. So the frame of a bike is always based on two triangles like that, because triangles are strong and they give stability. They don't allow a structure to move. So yeah, best of luck with that, guys. Talk to you later.